All right, chat, let's get into it. Kalshi $1 billion bracket, but Sparty got that for sure. I don't know, man. I feel like USF has the physicality down low. Like Isaiah Nelson is a beast. What do you think about Tennessee? I love Tennessee. I love Tennessee. I picked Tennessee to the Final Four in one of my brackets, dude. I'm not even kidding. Oh no, no, no. Wrong way here. There we go. Are you live on anything else? No, just TikTok right now. I have UCLA in my Final Four. No way, Tyler. Tyler, we gotta chill. Everybody's glazing UCLA. All right, let's just get into it, chat. Let's just get into it. Guys, if you go to Kalshi, you can enter the 1 billion. Here, let me get to it. $1 billion bracket challenge. I hate being called ugly. That's why I'm. Jessica, nobody called you ugly. Who called you ugly, Jessica? Nobody called you ugly. Jessica, you're beautiful. Nobody called you ugly. Nobody called you ugly, Jessica. All right, $1 billion bracket challenge, ladies and gentlemen. $1 billion bracket challenge. Oh, okay, Kirsten, let's take it easy there, brother. Miami of Ohio, yeah. Shout out the Red Hawks. The Red Hawks are shutting everybody up right now. But I don't think we've seen the last of Booby Miller or whatever his name is. All right, here we go, chat. Let's start at the top with the Duke Blue Devil. Oh, I gotta get this locked in. Obviously, Duke's beating Siena. Let's not waste too much time there. Ohio State, TCU. This is a really tough one. This is a coin flip. So Texas BYU is interesting. I like BYU, man. I think the way that AJ DeBanza was playing in the Big 12 tournament, the men who say I'm ugly are just rude. I have Siena winning. Eli. What are we gonna do with you? Ohio State, yeah, TCU is valid, man. TCU just has better wins than Ohio State, but Ohio State does have some good wins as well. Bruce Thornton is just a dog. But I'm just going like in these toss-ups, like who is more battle tested? And I think it's TCU in the Big 12, and they beat Florida, they beat Iowa State. They have some really, really good wins. They have better wins than Ohio State. They're a more well-rounded basketball team, but Ohio State's gonna have the best player in this tournament. St. John's, Chad. I don't think this is the year with a 12-5 upset. I don't. I like St. John's. I think it's just way too much physicality for a mid-major. Yo, Miami of Ohio is putting it on them. How about the Red Hawks? I think St. John's has just too much physicality, too much defense, too much. They're too good of a rebounding team for a mid-major. Like their defense is just suffocating, and Northern Iowa's schedule is a joke. They haven't seen a big like Etchafor. I just like St. John's too much against a Northern Iowa team that has not played a team to St. John's level. Kansas and California, Baptist. I'm seeing a lot of Cal Baptist as a trendy upset pick. They have that dude that's like 5'10" and I think he averages like 20 points per game. Devin, did you know Jessica made a video about you? No, I did not know that. I did not know that. Anyway, chat. All right, chat. I'm done reading the chat. I'm just gonna go through my bracket. We're gonna create the perfect bracket here. Duke over Siena, TCU over Ohio State, St. John's. Like I said, they are too good of a team. They're too physical down low. And they're too much for one of these mid majors to come in and get an upset. Kansas and California. I don't think Kansas is gonna reach their ceiling, but their ceiling is legitimately the best in the country. I'm talking Trey White, Melvin Council, Darren Peterson, Bryson Tiller, Flo Badunga. If they played together all year, if Darren Peterson wasn't missing games and they all bought in and reached their ceiling together, I think Kansas would have been one of the historically great teams. But unfortunately, that was not the case. Give me Kansas over Cal Baptist, though, and this sets up a really interesting matchup here in St. John's, Kansas in the second round. Louisville, South Florida. I'm going with South Florida. I think out of any team, chat, any team that has a chance, any double-digit seed that has a chance to go on a run, it is South Florida. Not only do they have size with Isaiah Nelson, they attack the offensive glass. They have the D2 All-American point guard Will Ennis leading this squad. They have a bunch of guys that are experienced. I'm pretty sure 4 of their 5 guys in their starting lineup are seniors. They've got 5 guys averaging in the double digits. They also have a lot of transfers in from D1 power conference schools. I think that is huge when you get to March. You want guys on these mid-majors that, one, have a lot of experience, and 2, have played against power competition. And South Florida has a bunch of those guys. I think Louisville is bigger than USF, but that's Khalifa. Like that's their Louisville's big. Khalifa is a 7-footer. He's averaging 3 rebounds a game. That's their presence down low. Isaiah Nelson is going to obliterate him. Isaiah Nelson is averaging 18 and 12. 18 and 12. I think Louisville personally still think they are a good team. Won at Miami without Melk. That's completely valid. That's completely valid. But I think USF also has a win over Utah State. That is, again, one of the best mid-majors. Louisville missing Michael. But like Tyler said, it doesn't matter too much. It doesn't, like, they played without Michael early in the season. They played without Michael late in the season. I think they'll be fine. Conwell can carry the load. But again, this is more of a testament to my belief in South Florida than my belief in Louisville. All right, Michigan State, North Dakota. It's Michigan State here. There's nothing really worth talking about. Izzo, when he has a good team, very rarely loses in the first round. He very rarely misses the Sweet 16 when he has a good team. But we'll get to this South Florida, Michigan State conversation in a little bit here. UCLA, UCF. I saw somewhere that Donovan Dent and Tyler Bilodeau are both going to play. I don't think UCF has a chance. No respect to the Golden Knights, but UCLA is one of the hottest teams in the country. 4 of their 5 starters are upperclassmen. 4 of their 6 in terms of in their 6-man rotation, they played more than 6, but 4 of their 6 players that see the most minutes all shoot over 40% from 3. Donovan Dent is 8 assists to 2 turnovers. He's one of the best pure point guards in the country. I think UCLA is getting a lot of hype for that reason, but I have UCLA over UCF. No disrespect to Tamus Folks, obviously. He is a dog. UConn over Furman, although I do think UConn is the most vulnerable of all of the 2 seeds in the first round, and the Paladins have had a knack for the upset. Shout out Virginia fans, and they're getting hot at the right time. Plus, when I was watching them, I forget, I don't even remember what conference they were in, but watching them, I remember the commentator saying they've finally gotten healthy. They have a freshman that is just an absolute baller at Furman as well, so keep an eye on him. But UConn is just, again, Danny Hurley in March. I trust him to not get upset by a 15 seed here, obviously. All right, Florida, Prairie View. Give me Florida, obviously. Clemson and Iowa. Clemson's a better defensive team than Iowa, but Bennett Sturts, Tyler in the chat will tell you about Bennett Sturts. He gets you at least one, man. At least one. And Iowa's way more battle-tested in the Big Ten than Clemson is in the ACC. Vanderbilt, McNeese. McNeese is very, very reliant on turnovers, chat. That's where they make their bread and butter. That's where they make their money. Vanderbilt doesn't turn the ball over. Tyler Tanner is one of the best point guards in the country. They're 11th in turnover percentage offensively per Torvik, so they don't turn the ball over. Give me Vanderbilt, and I think Vanderbilt's going to be a very, very dangerous team in this tournament. Nebraska at Troy. We have our first upset. The Troy Trojans are beating the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who are 1-6 in their last 7 games against tournament teams. That only win coming over Iowa, who is one of the worst tournament teams out of like the Power 4 conferences. No disrespect to Bennett Sturts, but if you look at their schedule, Iowa's the worst tournament team that they played. Like, they lost to Illinois, they lost to UCLA, they lost to Michigan State, they lost to Michigan. They got blown out by UCLA. By the way, I don't think Nebraska's better than St. John's. I don't think Nebraska's better than Wisconsin, but yet they're on the 4 line. I think Troy has way too much size down low. And when you look at Nebraska analytically, they are a really good defensive team, but where their defense is the weakest is on 2-point field goal percentage. They allow a decent number in terms of field goal percentage on 2-point shots comparative to everything else. They're also not a great rebounding team. Troy does shoot a bunch of threes. Nebraska allows a bunch of threes. They don't allow a lot of 3-pointers made, but they don't run teams off the 3-point line. And Troy has 2 guys down low. I'm forgetting their names, but they both average 14. One of them is 14 and 10. And Nebraska has struggled with teams that have good size down low, not to mention the 2 Campbell twins, the 2 Ginger Irishmen. Give me Troy in the upset here, the 13-5 upset. North Carolina, VCU. Seth Trimble and Henry Visar give you one. And I understand VCU is one of the hottest teams in the country right now. I think they've won like 12 of their last 13. But I think everybody's just overlooking this UNC team. Like, Hubert Davis is a pretty good coach. He's gone on runs in March as a lower seed, like that first season with Caleb Love. They went to the national championship. I think Seth Trimble has been waiting for this moment. Henry Visar is nasty. And VCU's out of conference play was garbage. Like, they do have a good amount of quad 1 and quad 2 wins, or I think quad 2 wins, but all of them came in the A10. Like, they're out of conference schedule. They played a lot of good teams. Like, they're battle tested-ish, but they didn't beat any of those good teams. So give me UNC to move on here over VCU, who I think a lot of people are penciling VCU. And earlier this week, I was out on North Carolina because it seemed like the wind left their sails since Caleb Wilson's injury was announced that he won't be returning for the rest of the year. But I still think they can get it done without him. I like Seth Trimble. I like Henry Visar. Bro, VCU's best win is Dayton. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, So I don't know how you could be that high on VCU because they ran through the A10. And when they did play the best team in the A10, St. Louis, they lost to them twice. So I think VCU is getting a little bit too overrated here against an experienced North Carolina team. Don't like Illinois, but they will obviously win. Yeah, I like Illinois here. I think if any 13 gets upset, it is Illinois. Penn shoots not a lot of threes, but they shoot them at a really, really high clip. And if Illinois has an off shooting night and Penn has a hot day from beyond the arc, which they are capable of shooting a really high clip from three, and TJ Power is it's worth noting. Like you can't just ignore the fact that he had 45 in a conference championship game. Okay, you can't ignore that fact. So if I think if any 3 seed were to, and Illinois, similar with Nebraska, might have peaked too early. They've lost a lot of games recently against tournament opposition. So I think Illinois is in the most suspect spot out of any of these 3 seeds, especially because Penn has a guy in TJ Power that committed to Duke, transferred to Virginia, has played power conference ball, and he had 40 in a conference championship game. I did watch the second VCU St. Louis game. VCU was up like 15 with 10 minutes to go. They ended up losing by 10. You look like you're filming underground. Is it really that bad? I'm looking at my TikTok live, and it seems like the quality looks fine. But either way, we move here. We move. St. Mary's, Texas A&M. Texas A&M likes to run. St. Mary's likes to slow things down. St. Mary's has 2 bigs down low. They have way more size than Texas A&M. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the country. They're very efficient on the inside. I think St. Mary's takes care of the Aggies. Houston, Idaho. Give me Houston. Let's not waste any time here. So that's the first round. Let's go to the other side of the bracket now. Guys, this is the Kalshi $1 billion bracket challenge, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys are doing this. Like, imagine chat. Imagine you fill out that you get a perfect bracket, but it's not on Kalshi. You get the perfect bracket on CBS. Just how much of a fool would you feel like, chat? All right, here we go. Arizona, LIU. This is the region of March Madness, this little quadrant here that I am the most excited for. Arizona beats LIU. I think Utah State is one of the most underrated teams. They dominated a Mountain West that I think if you did a Mountain West Big East challenge, I don't think the Mountain West would win, but I think it would be way closer than a lot of people think. Villanova is in the tournament because they were in the Big East. They look like shit against the 2 good Big East teams, St. John's and UConn. Give me Utah State to move on here. Utah State also has a guard in MJ Collins that played at the power conference level. He's averaging like close to 20 a game. Mason Falslev and their other big that wears the headband. That's just how I refer to him. I don't even know his name. They've been at Utah State for 4 years now. They do have a little bit of tournament experiments. I like Utah State here over Villanova. And yeah, Wisconsin High Point. Everybody is falling for this High Point bullshit. Dude, the Chris Johnston guy on High Point that wears number 99 or whatever and only shoots threes, that guy barely plays 20 minutes a game. He doesn't play 20 minutes a game. He's like 8th in their rotation. He banged a couple of threes in whatever conference High Point it is, in the conference finals, and everybody's glazing them. Wisconsin blows this team out of the gym. Wisconsin, it's a 20-point game by halftime. High Point has played nobody, man. They haven't played a single soul. Wisconsin has one of the best backcourts in the country with Blackwell and Nick Boyd. They're running this team out of the gym. Wisconsin moves on. And then Arkansas, Hawaii. Hawaii analytically is honestly not that bad of a team, but they play. I saw something where I have not watched a single second of Hawaii. I'm going to be completely honest. So this is a little bit of box score watching, a little bit of Torvik watching, and just what I've heard other people say about Hawaii. All they do, best backcourt in college basketball. It's one of them. I mean, it's probably like Bradley and Burries is up there. I love Christian Anderson, but he hasn't been doing it for me recently. Lipsy Momcilovic is nasty. Michael Brown and Conwell, when they're healthy, is nasty. But yeah, Donovan Dent and Sky Clark. Arkansas is beating Hawaii. Hawaii plays no switch defense, chat. Do you know what that means? No switch defense? No help defense? That it's man-to-man the whole game. How on earth are you going to play man-to-man with Darius Acuff? Give me a break here. Arkansas moves on. BYU, Texas. AJ DeBansa was a man. Ryan Neal, you seem scared. AJ DeBansa was a man on a mission in the Big 12 tournament, man. I don't think he'll be denied. I think he wins one game. They got robbed a little bit. Like, BYU's coach was right to be upset after that game because the refs were calling fouls for Houston. They were not calling shit for BYU, and BYU still did hang around in that game. So give me the BYU Cougars and AJ Dybantsa, Rob Wright, and Keita down low. Gonzaga, Kennesaw State. Gonzaga, I don't think Mark Few's ever lost in the first round as like a top 5 seed, so give me the Zags. Miami and Missouri. This game is in Mizzou. Oh my gosh, what's Missouri's best player's name? Oh my gosh. Is it like Mike? Yo, Tyler, help me out. I have BYU over Gonzaga. I don't hate it. What's Mizzou's best player's name? He's kind of a dog, man. Mark Mitchell. Thank you. I don't care about Mark Mitchell. That's what I'll say, chat. I could give a crap less about Mark Mitchell. Miami has been one of my favorite sleepers all season long. I think they got a tough draw here. Like UCLA and Miami have been two of my biggest sleepers for the past 2 months. This game is being played in St. Louis. I don't care. Miami plays really, really good defense. Uday is one of the most underrated bigs in the country. Trey Donaldson has tournament experience. Senior guard play is so reliable, such a necessity in this tournament. Give me Miami, Florida, and then Mark Renaud is also a dog, all ACC for a reason. Give me Miami. No disrespect to Mizzou. You're also going to notice a theme here, chat. I am fading the SEC unless it's Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Tennessee, or Florida. And Purdue over Queens. Purdue's been playing some really, really good basketball. Give me Trey Donaldson and Malik Renaud all day. What did I call him? Mark Renaud? Yeah, give me, all day. And Jay Lucas has done an incredible job turning around that Miami program. All right, Michigan, Howard, Michigan, obviously. Where's Tyler at? Tyler, you know how I feel about the St. Louis Billikens. And Georgia was a team that I thought was heating up at the right time. They had a really impressive win over Alabama late in the season. But the Billikens are just a problem, man. I'm telling you, this St. Louis team can get hot. They can beat Michigan in the second round. They have 5 guys that are shooting over 40% from 3. As a team, they're shooting 40% from 3, St. Louis is. They're holding opposition to 30% from 3. I saw something today. I think they're holding opposition to the lowest field goal percentage in the country, and they have a bunch of guys that transferred in from Power 4 conference teams, man. So when you have guys that have played Power 4 basketball or Power Conference basketball on a mid-major team that shoots a bunch of threes the way St. Louis does, that makes a team dangerous. St. Louis also leads the country in 10-0 runs. They are a very, very dangerous squad, and I think they could give Michigan a run for their money in the second round, but I just don't have the balls to do it yet. Texas Tech, Akron. Everybody is picking Akron. Don't fall for it, man. Don't fall for it. Texas Tech is a brutal matchup. And I just shout out Miami of Ohio, by the way. Shout out the Red Hawks, proving to everybody that they do belong in this tournament. St. Louis has no chance against Michigan. I disagree, bro. I think if they get hot, they can beat anybody in the country. I just don't think their style of basketball is sustainable for them to go on a ridiculous run. Christian Anderson, all I'm going to say, I don't care, no Jade. Thank you, bro. Christian Anderson, Atwell, LaJawn Watts, Jalen Petty can get hot. Texas Tech just shoots so many threes. Luke with the follow. Thank you, Luke. Absolute beautician there. I just think that Texas Tech is an awful matchup for Akron that lives and dies by the 3. The Red Raiders don't get enough credit for their ability to hold teams from not only not shooting threes, but holding them to low percentages from beyond the arc. They're going to run Akron. I don't want to say run Akron out of the gym. 9 points is a lot. The Zips do have a guard that played last year, that they have a lot of continuity. I think they're the best 12, but I, again, think that this Red Raiders team is just a brutal matchup for Akron. I still haven't moved off that. I think every single 5 seed advances. Clemson, Iowa, TCU. I like Iowa and I like TCU, Jace. Alabama, Hofstra. Give me Hofstra, chat. I do not care. Oh my God, Hofstra's guard is Cruz Davis, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready to remember the name. Cruz Davis. Okay, that guy is a beast. Hofstra slows things down. Alabama's second leading scorer is in prison. They've been a really volatile team all year. If Hofstra can try to control the tempo, get Alabama in the half court, long offensive possessions that end in buckets, don't give Alabama the chance to run and get their shooting hot. Cruz averages, he's disgusting. He is disgusting. He will be a household name potentially by the time this tournament is over. Alabama's second leading scorer currently in prison. Tennessee, and it's probably going to be Miami of Ohio. Tennessee's got too much offensive firepower down low with Amen and Akpara. Gillespie's one of the best. I don't know anything about Preston Admead. Phylon dropping 30 on his head. Maybe, but I bet Cruz got 25 for him. I think Tennessee is a team that nobody is talking about. I think with Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament both on the floor, they have two of the best shot makers in the country. I think defensively, they're very underrated down low. They have the size to bang with a team like Florida. I also think Akpar is one of the most underrated bigs. He's the best offensive rebounder in the country. Tennessee leads the leads NCAA in second chance opportunities. Give me the Volunteers. Not only over Miami of Ohio, which is SMU did just hit a 3 or whatever. It's 74-81 right now. We'll see. Give me Tennessee over them. And then Virginia and Thomas DeRidder. I think that's a tough matchup, man. I think there's a tough matchup. Like I said, the strength of Tennessee's defense is on the interior. The weakness of Tennessee's defense is literally Jacoby Gillespie. Good scoring guards have had really good days against Tennessee. If you remember that Alabama game, LeBaron Philon took over in the second half. Against Vanderbilt, Tyler Tanner was dominant. Against Mizzou, it was like their six-man guard that went off over Tennessee. Yes, I think Hofstra can win. They're one of my favorite upset picks. I think that there's going to be more 13s that upset 4s than 12s that upset 5s this year, mainly Hofstra and Troy. Santa Clara is a team that I have not watched a whole lot of. Everybody's really high on them. What happened? I thought, everybody slept on Miami of Ohio. They said, shut up and hold my beer. Kentucky's too much talent. They got too much talent. Otega Owe, Colin Chandler, Aberdeen. They got too much talent. Moreno down low. I think they advanced. And Iowa State's playing some of the best ball in the country right now. So I think Iowa State takes care of Tennessee State. I also think Iowa State takes care of Kentucky as well. I think Virginia over Tennessee is what I would say if I was crazy. Give me the Volunteers, Chad. Like I mentioned, like I alluded to earlier, they have so much size and physicality down low to contain DeRidder. When does Tennessee play? I'm not sure. And Nate Ament might be one of the best bucket getters at the freshman level besides Darius Acuff. Well, I don't know. Darren Peterson's pretty good too. And obviously AJ DeBansa. UVA is nice. Their best win is Miami. Tennessee has some fantastic wins they played. I'd argue the SEC has better overall team. Yeah, the SEC is probably better than the ACC, respectfully. UVA will destroy them. Disagree. Tennessee's going to have the two best players in this game offensively. Almost beat Duke. Yeah, you know how many things I almost did, Moss? I think it doesn't matter because Iowa State makes it to the Elite Eight anyway. And I'm not. This part isn't showing, but we'll go there. Texas Tech Hofstra. Give me the Red Raiders, man. They shoot too many threes. They don't allow a lot of threes, and their whole starting lineup is going to be there except for Toppin. I love Cruz Davis, but I'm sticking with Christian Anderson. I'm sticking with the Red Raiders, man. St. Louis, Michigan, I want to do it, but Michigan's just too good. They have too much size. St. Louis hasn't seen that type of size with Mara combined with Yaxel at all in the A10. Give me Michigan. Purdue, Florida, and Miami. Oh, man, Purdue are choke artists. They really are, but I think this Big Ten tournament run can't be understated. They look dominant. Braden Smith was just controlling the game. I love Miami. I love Uday, but they got too much size down low with Trey Kaufman-Renn. And I keep forgetting their other big's name there. I keep forgetting his name. The white boy down low. He was huge for them, especially against UCLA, getting so many second chance opportunities. Clough. Thank you, Tyler. So I think Purdue, although Miami will give them a good run for their money, I think Purdue advances. BYU Gonzaga. I've been fading Gonzaga all season. They struggled in the Pacific, even though they won a lot of games. It wasn't like they were blowing teams out. They struggled against Seattle. They struggled against Santa Clara. How about the Red Hawks, man? Seriously. Shout out Miami of Ohio. This might have me rethinking my pick in the first round here, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to go that far yet. Give me AJ DeBansa. Who's guarding AJ with no Huff? Exactly. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Gonzaga is a pretty good defensive team, though. But down low, BYU has a guy in Keita who's a pretty good rim protector in his own right, and maybe he can contain Graham Ike. And AJ DeBansa is going to be the best player on the floor. Gonzaga has not played a player like AJ DeBansa. Not to mention, Rob Wright will not go down without a fight here as well. Give me BYU to the Sweet 16. Wisconsin, Arkansas. This is going to be the most entertaining game of the tournament. It's going to be 105 to 103. Darius Acuff, game-winning 3. Give me the Razorbacks. The way, it's not even just Acuff, man. Like, Malik Thomas was huge for them in the SEC semifinals. No way Miami beats Tennessee, right? I don't know. Like, it's not. Brazil has been huge for them down the stretch. Billy Richmond is a dog. He's been playing the best basketball of the season. DJ Wagner, however you say his name, has so much experience as well. I think Recon Brazil. I agree, bro. He's so underrated. Such a presence defensively too. Yeah, I was gonna say what a Recon. I like Arkansas, and obviously I love Utah State, but I think Arizona. Utah State got underseeded here, like at a ridiculous. But having to play Arizona in the second round is tough. That is the Sweet 16 here. Here, let me move this over for a second here, chat. Guys, remember, if you are not entering Kalshi, if you are not entering the Kalshi $1 billion bracket challenge, I don't know what you're doing, man. You only get one entry. You only get one entry per account, but you got to enter at least one, man. If you get a perfect bracket, and it's not on Kalshi, I bet you'll feel like a real clown. Wisconsin beating Arkansas. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I just think Arkansas is a more well-rounded team than Wisconsin is. Utah State needed to be a 7. I agree. You're watching Miami, but yeah, bro. Shout out the Red Hawks. All right, Duke, TCU, Eli. Tyler. I'm getting my chat mixed up. Tyler, you're higher on TCU than I am. I think if this was a, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. St. John's, Kansas. Eli DM'd me and he said St. John's just their offense relies on Ejiofor, and Flo Badunga's obviously going to be on Ejiofor. So I understand that logic, Tyler. Counterpoint, Kansas's offense has struggled at times, and St. John's defense is just so physical that if Darren Peterson isn't on, they could lose this game. But Kansas has so much more talent offensively than St. John's does, and St. John's offense can go ghost just as well as Kansas is, and Kansas is just as good of a defensive team as St. John's. 2 years in a row, St. John's loses in the round of 32. Give me the Jayhawks to advance. Michigan State, South Florida. Do I do it, chat? I love South Florida. I love Isaiah Nelson. I love Will Ennis. Pinion as well. He played at Arkansas for 3 years. I want to do it. I really want to do it. But Izzo, when he has a good team, and this team is good, man. With Kohler, they have one of the best guards and fears in the country. They play really, really good defense. I'm not low on Michigan State because of that UCLA loss. I think it's going to be close. I'm surprised what the spread is. Give me the Spartans. I want to take the Bulls so bad. But give me the Spartans. And chat, remember, fill out your Kalshi $1 billion bracket, man. Fill it out. UCLA, UConn. This is where the bracket psychology really starts to infiltrate your mind here, chat. As we get closer and closer to tip-off on Thursday, it's like, well, everybody's taking UCLA. And this will kind of get you off of the scent. Just type in Kalshi on your browser, Kalshi bracket challenge, and then you got to make an account. $1 billion bracket challenge. All right. Chat, it's got to be UCLA. I don't care. Tyler, you know how bullish I've been on UCLA for a long time now. Tyler, I feel like me and you in February in this chat, we're talking about Donovan Dent and talking about the Bruins. Dent and Bilodeau are a go. So are the UCLA Bruins. Shout out Sky Clark. Sky Clark is going to hit a tween step back midi in Caravan's face to send UCLA to the second round. Sky Clark might be one of the most underrated, at least one of my most favorite play. What, against Illinois, Tyler? Is that the game you're talking about? Yeah, there was no looking back. And you know what the icing on the cake for UCLA was? They went on the road and beat USC. And then they went on a neutral court and they got a couple of big wins, one of them against Michigan State, and they dominated Rutgers in the Big Ten tournament. And that was the knock on UCLA. Can they win on the road? Which they couldn't. They just weren't. It just wasn't happening. But then they beat USC on the road. Sky Clark might just be Ja Murray. I wouldn't go that far. Shout out Ja at Murray State. But that run, not only did they beat USC on the road, but then they go on a neutral site, put belt to Rutgers, and then beat Michigan State. That was enough for me to go all in with UCLA. I don't think they're overrated at all. They also have so much experience, and I know it's like I'm beating a dead horse just saying this now. But 4 of their 5 starters are upperclassmen. 4 of the 6 guys in their main rotation all shoot over 40% from 3. They have one of the best pure point guards in the country. I love the Bruins, man. Give me UCLA. Florida, Iowa. Listen, Florida, they're not losing in the first round. They don't have the size down low Iowa to bang with Florida. I think it might be a little bit too late in the season to bench Xavier Lee, but if Florida were to go Boogie Flan and Clavshar, can you log in if you're under 18? I don't know, Enzo. That's a good question. I don't know. I think I'd rather have Clavshar on the floor because he's way more reliable 3-point shooter than Xavier Lee is, So that's my only thing with Florida. But I think they get past Iowa and run into trouble in Vanderbilt. And I like Troy, but Vanderbilt's so much continuity. I love Tyler Tanner. And again, I'm fading the SEC unless it's those guys. And I think Illinois got one of the best draws out of any 3 seed, even though I did say I think they have the highest chance of getting upset. That's because they've just been playing not the greatest basketball of the season. I think they get past North Carolina, though. I do. Houston, St. Mary's, I love the Cougars, man. I think the Cougars are going to become indifferent this tournament. Their only really bad losses were to the top, were all the 1 and 2 seeds. And then Texas Tech with JT Toppin. And Texas Tech with JT Toppin, by the way, they beat Arizona. They beat Duke, the number 1 and 2 seed in this tournament overall. Neither of those games were at home, by the way. And Texas Tech beat both of them. So give me Houston over St. Mary's. All right, chat. Now we move to the Sweet 16. Let me lock in here. How about Miami of Ohio? All right, Sweet 16. We have Duke, Kansas. Duke's too good, man. Duke's too good. I'm telling you this right now. Kansas has one of the highest ceilings. I've been beating that horse all season now, but I don't think they reach it. Duke does have the size down low, where it could be a little bit of a problem for them with Flo Badunga, but I also trust their backcourt. And the way Caden Boozer played in the ACC championship game was all that I needed to see. Give me that. Florida State game is messing with me. Tyler, Florida State just has Duke's number. Florida State scored the most points that Duke allowed all season. They scored 87 on Duke the first time they played, and then they almost scored 80. Duke point guard out. Yeah, but they have depth at that position. Like Evan Sarr, the other Boozers, they have depth at the point guard position. And their other guy, I don't know how to say his name, but I'm pretty sure he's coming back for this as well. So I think Duke will be just fine. And I think they take care of a Kansas team that just lacks continuity. And Duke does have one of the best offenses in the country. We've seen Kansas's defense take a shit multiple times this year. So give me the Blue Devils. Michigan State, UCLA. Chad, I want to do it. Michigan State did. Kansas is not better. Michigan State did beat the brakes off them the first time they played, but that was in East Lansing. Give me the Bruins, bro. Donovan Dent's the best point guard in this fucking game. Donovan Dent's the best point guard in this game, okay? I'm tired of pretending he's not. Donovan Dent is an issue, chat. Give me the UCLA Bruins. Give me the Bruins. Fears is going to be a better NBA player, but not this game. Not in the Sweet 16. Also, UCLA does have the size to match up with Carr and Kohler. Maybe not the athleticism. Wait. Ain't Dent beat up? I saw that he's going to be playing. Give me the Bruins. Florida Vanderbilt. This is tough, chat. This is really tough. I don't think Golden gets slimed out like that twice. And Vanderbilt wasn't missing. They were not missing in that semifinal game. They were not missing. I love Tyler Tanner. I really do. I love Tyler Tanner. Florida's getting their lick back. Florida is getting their lick back against the Commodores. Give me the Gators. Illinois, Houston, chat. Oh, Illinois. Oh, wait. Why is it not going lower? Hold on here. I'm navigating with a new stream setup here. Tyler Tanner does it 100%. Listen, I like Tyler. They're going to need Nickel. Nickel needs to get hot in this matchup here. He needs to get hot. But I don't think Florida's really good, man. And I think Golden's is Golden. He's getting his lick back. Condon, Hauk, Chinleu, too much size. Duke Miles with Dogley, exactly. Just tuned in. Now I got to fade every pick. All right, Caden. Caden, no need for you. You're being a real prick. Illinois, Houston. Houston has the guards to lock up Keaton Wagler. Houston has the guards to lock up Stojakovic. Ponytail Jake Davis, I don't think you can lock that guy up. He just doesn't fucking miss. I don't care. Give me the Cougars. I think the Cougars are coming here, bro. Home court for Houston. Great point, Tyler. I didn't even put that together. Great. Yo, as somebody, it says Alfred Sengun joined. That's crazy. Give me Houston. I love him, and I have a future on the Cougars as well. Think about Houston, chat, for a second here. Think about who Houston has played all season long. They've been playing in the loaded Big 12, Iowa State, Arizona, Texas Tech with Toppin, Kansas. All these teams are top 4 seeds, and then they get to play St. Mary's and Illinois. They've been playing the big bad Big 12, and they look at their tournament. All they're playing is Europeans. Literally, European dominant St. Mary's, European dominant Illinois, and then Keaton Wagler. It's got to be Houston, man. It's got to be Houston. All right. Let's move things over. Oh, hello. To the Sweet 16 on the other side here, chat. Miami of Ohio for the Natty. Listen, I don't hate it. No, I mean, that's just not happening. But they shut everybody up today. Illinois, the leverage play. I don't know what that means. What do you mean by the leverage play? Because they're going to be underdogs? All right. Michigan, Texas Tech. This is where Texas Tech gets got, man. Michigan has too much size with Mara and Yaxel down low. LaJawn Watts is going to be put in a blender all game long. And although Texas Tech does have the three-point shooting to run anybody out of the gym, Michigan's defense is too good on the perimeter. Give me the Wolverines. And then I did already take Iowa State over Tennessee as much as I love the balls. Low key, though, Tennessee has the bodies down low. I don't know who Morris Johnson is, Tyler. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is. Cal Baptist is coming. Here we go, D. Lennon. Oh, Michigan. Okay. Iowa State, Tennessee. Tyler, talk me out of talk me out of Nate Ament here. Somebody talk me out of Tennessee, or else I'm gonna do it. Talk me out of Tennessee, or I'm gonna do it. Tyler, you are my Iowa State guy, but I feel like this isn't the greatest matchup for Iowa State. Like Jefferson Okpara down low could be a problem. Can't go against my squad. You know what? Jacoby Gillespie isn't guarding Tamin Lipsey. He isn't. Give me the Cyclones. And just like that, we have the Elite Eight. And it's pretty fucking chalky. Is it all 1 and 2 seeds? Oh, no, we don't have the Elite Eight yet. Arizona, Arkansas. I can't do it, chat. I think Arizona is the best team in the country. I think they should have been the #1 overall seed. It's sad that Darius Acuff's got to go down like this. I think whoever wins this game goes to the Final Four. Give me Arizona. Give me the Wildcats. BYU, Purdue. I want to do it, but I don't think that BYU just has they don't have the size down. Like, oh, they do though. No, I can't do it. BYU's not that good. BYU's not that good. I think they're benefiting from an easy path here. Give me the Boilermakers. Too much size down low for Keita to deal with, and they do have the guys to be able to potentially, maybe, slow down Debansa. And if they don't have the guys to slow down Debansa, they have the guys to at least limit Rob Wright and Debansa's supporting cast. Give me Purdue here. And all of a sudden, chat, I don't want to hear any chalky shit, any chalky chirps here. These are the best teams in the country. We got Duke, UCLA. I want to put UCLA in. I want to put UCLA in. I don't think they will contain AJ, but yeah, I agree, Tyler. But Duke's just too good. I love the Bruins. Give me Donovan Dent. Give me Tyler Bilodeau. I don't care. I do not care. Give me UCLA. I'm going to do it. I do not care. Give me the Bruins to the Final Four. Sky Clark, Donovan Dent. Come on, Tyler Bilodeau. Give me the Bruins. Barring any injury, I think this team is one of the hottest teams in the country. They went with Purdue with 2 minutes left to go in that game, chat. Without Bilodeau. No Bilodeau, and the game was tied in the Big Ten Championship. And think about the storyline here. Mitch Cronin goes in on that reporter just for that to be the start of the championship DVD. Give me UCLA, John Shire, choke job again. Sky Clark catches fire in this tournament. Let's go, Tyler. Fire me up. I've been in on UCLA since fucking February, early February, mid-February. Time to put my balls on the table. Give me the Bruins in the Kalshi $1 billion perfect bracket challenge. On the other side of this, on the other side here, oh man, that got me fired up. On the other side here, chat. Give me the Wildcats. I need a second to catch my breath. Water break. Give me the Wildcats. Let's not fuck around here. It was always Arizona. It's Arizona. Give me the Wildcats. They're the best team in the country. They're the best team in the country. They're the best team in the country. Oh man, and they're healthy, bro. All right, we go to the bottom half of the Elite Eight. We have part of our Final Four here, chat. We have part of our Final Four. Michigan, Iowa State. This is the end of the line for Iowa State. They've struggled in this spot before. Frankly, they've struggled in the Sweet 16. I'm changing it. Sorry, Tyler. I'm changing it. I believe in Nate Ament. I believe in Jacoby Gillespie. I believe what I saw with my own two eyes watching this Tennessee team. They beat Iowa State, but they do lose to Michigan. I don't care. Iowa State struggled in the second weekend a lot. So under their new, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. The dude's jacked. He always wears tight polos. Oh, the Iowa State coach's name. I don't care. I'm doing it. Give me Tennessee, man. Give me Tennessee. Remember, chat, this is the Kalshi $1 billion bracket challenge. Go fill out a Kalshi bracket. If you get a perfect bracket and it's on CBS and ESPN, how much of a clown are you going to feel like? All this for UConn, the 20-ball UCLA. That's not chill. Florida, Houston. Rematch of last year. Todd Golden got his lick back. Excuse me. Golden got his lick back on Vanderbilt in the Sweet 16. Kelvin Sampson gets his lick back on Florida in the Elite Eight. Houston to the Final Four, ladies and gentlemen. This Houston team has played such a gauntlet of a schedule in some of the most hostile environments college basketball has to offer. And then you give them a route to the Elite Eight that is simply just Europeans on neutral floors, in not even a neutral floor, in Houston. Yeah, give me the Cougars. Kelvin Sampson's getting over the hump, not only this year, and I think Emmanuel Sharp hits a game winner in this game against Florida. I think he does. Guard play is crucial. Who has better guards, chat? Houston or Florida? Yeah, not even close. And this gives us... Oh, wrong way. Where are we going here? Chat? This is a new system for me. I'm going to need you guys to bear with me here for just a second. Hold on, chat. I'm figuring it out here. Oh, there we go. Got it. People forget Milos Uzan. They do, bro. Nobody wants to talk about Milos Uzan. Like, that guy wasn't one of the best players in the country last year. It's just the Kingston Flemings. And people also forget that Sanak was a higher rated prospect than Kingston Flemings was. People forget that as well. How are you going to call a college senior washed? Hurry up, bro. I know I'm... Yo, Taco. Chill out on your boy here. I'm trying to get it in the perfect spot here. Boom, chat. How's that? That looks fine, right? King Taco with the follow. Alex with the follow. Thank you, boys. All right, chat. This is the Final Four. This is my Final Four. I don't care. I do not care. I have UCLA in the Final Four, chat. Let me know what you guys think. Houston, UCLA, Arizona, Michigan. Let me know, chat. I'll tell you this about UCLA. Every single game that they play, they're going to have the best point guard. They're going to have the pure point guard, not scoring guard, not hybrid, the best pure point guard. Same four, but I have Iowa State. Yeah, Tyler, you convinced me. I love this UCLA team. I love this UCLA team so much. But unfortunately, it's Houston's time. And Arizona, Michigan, Arizona's healthier. Arizona has the size to match up with Mara. Arizona has better guard play. Look out for Anthony Delorso. This is where Anthony Delorso goes for 25, and Arizona advances to the national championship game, where they have a date with Houston. Big 12 championship rematch. The Big 12 proves why they are the best conference in college basketball this year. But unfortunately for Arizona, psych! Unfortunately for Houston, some teams just have your number. And Kelvin Sampson gets to the national championship 2 seasons in a row, and it's just not enough. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the $1 billion bracket challenge courtesy of Kalshi. Make sure you guys fill out your brackets.